How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday is your weekly microdose of encouragement, inspiration, and miracle grow on your potential as a coach. Do me a huge favor. Jump inside of the chat right now. Let us know that you are here. Tell us where you're joining us from. If you've been enjoying this series, we're in the third week of this series that is all about getting your first coaching client. And what our objective is that you walk away after this series and at least get one client in your first 30 days. That's what our intention is with this. So do me a huge favor. Let us know that you are here. Also, do me one more big favor. Like this post and share it. It tells Facebook and YouTube that we're doing a good job. It'll take you all of like a nanosecond to go boop. Like, let's see how fast you can do it. Just go boop, hit that like. And again, that tells Facebook and YouTube that we're doing a good job. It's very important to us to serve you guys really well. We have a 4-word mission statement at Life Coach Training Institute. It's proficient coaches, thriving practices. We are not a one-dimensional school. Most life coach training schools out there, all they want to do is act like their certificate is the almighty. It's like it's the biggest golden ticket in the world. And they think that their only responsibility is to police you on becoming a coach. And that's what they think that their job is. I don't believe that that's my job at all. I believe my job as a coach trainer is actually to give you the keys and say, get going, like go, like, yeah, get trained and certified, but go. So proficient coaches, thriving practices, everything that we do, even on a free live like tonight, is always has that end game. And so you can count on the fact that we're never going to say that we're going to do one thing and do another. We're never going to bait and switch. We're always very committed to earning trust with you and building a relationship with you. So let me say hello to a few people. Tracy from Tracy, Florida. Oh, that's interesting. Or is it Tracy from Florida? I don't know if there is a Tracy, Florida. Kathy's joining us from Ohio. Good to see you, Kathy. Dan is joining us from Orlando. I lived there once upon a time. Kate is from Florida. Florida is just like taking over tonight. What is going on? Kelly is joining us from Maine. Michelle says, I finished all my assignments on self-study today from Oregon. Congrats, Michelle. That's so good. Stephen is joining us from Arkansas. And Inel is joining us from Oklahoma City. Just a huge favor. Keep those comments coming in. April's joining us from Vegas. Good to see you, April. Jay is saying hello from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Again, if you haven't done it yet, jump inside the chat, either on Facebook or YouTube. Say hello to us. Tell us where you're joining us from. Also, do me a huge favor. Like this post at the very minimum. Even if you're not going to leave a comment, you can still give it a like. And more of you people are watching that could be giving us some more likeage. That tells Facebook and YouTube that we're doing a good job. We're trying so hard to help coaches, whether they ever join our school or not. And what you guys should have learned by this point, if you're joining us on Monday nights, you know that we're not going to waste your time. You're going to learn something that's very beneficial to help you be a better coach and help you get clients. That's that other side, again, that most schools don't even touch. They just kind of give you a certificate, like you're going to wave your certificate around and all these clients are going to start running at you. Now, I don't think that building a coaching practice is rocket science, but it does require a certain amount of strategy and being consistent. And we're giving you that, So keep those hellos coming in. Chad's joining us from Los Angeles. Laverne from New Jersey. Good to see you, Laverne. Miles from San Diego. Keep those comments coming in. Before we really jump in, which tonight, if you've been around over the last couple of weeks, we've been in this series, Getting Your First Coaching Client. What our end game is for this is for you to get that first client in at least the first 30 days. And this week, we're talking about get clients without being salesy, which I know a lot of you don't really want to do. Before we jump in heavy into this, if you want to get the slides tonight, just type the word slides. Don't put any other words in there. Just the word slides to 833-258-7547. you'll find the slides again that we show on the screen. It'll help you not have to take so many notes. Also, you guys are going to find that the slides are very beneficial because everything that I'm giving you is a great blueprint to be really successful as a coach. So just text the word slides to 833-258-7547, and you'll get a link. You'll be able to download it really quickly. Rashonda in Texas saying hello to Rashonda. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into what we are talking about this week. So, 2 weeks ago, and hopefully you guys have already done this. So, one of the things that I got you guys to commit to, people were commenting in that they were committing to this. But a couple of weeks ago, one of the things that I was saying is that I know that you should have a website. Yes, you should have social media. There's a lot of different things out there that are shoulds and are really beneficial things that as you get your coaching practice up and going can help you maintain the momentum and help you nurture a relationship and to really build a pipeline, for the client, for the prospective clients that you are serving, so that they become clients. But out of the gate, I think sometimes coaches overthink it and they start looking at what are all these people doing on social media? What are they doing with their website? And they get all distracted with all these different things. And there's so much information out there in the world, and you don't really know. Because one of the things I always tell our coaches, never copycat what other coaches are doing, because you don't know if they're successful or not. And so a lot of coaches, just because you even have followers doesn't mean that you're actually engaging them, and that a lot of times what people are pretty good at doing is getting people to kind of like watch their entertaining kinds of posts and stuff, but they're really bad at the steps of actually asking someone to become a client, or whatever that means, whatever that means for their business. So you don't want to be copycatting what other people are doing, especially if they're not successful at it. And so, fortunately for us, and really what ended up being the launching point of Life Coach Training Institute in 2014 is because when I graduated from coach training school, they didn't explain any of these things to you. I just walked away with a very expensive piece of paper and they waved at me from the door, and then I was on my own. And I figured out some things that really worked. And coaches started finding out about me and asking if I could help them. And it's interesting how that ended up being a launch point for a Life Coach Training Institute all the way back in 2014. So I just want you to know that the things that I share actually do work, whether you're going to be a traditional coach, an online coach, if you're going to do a combination of those things. I just want to encourage you, the things that we do actually work. And I've been successful in coaching. I've also been successful traditional business, but also online business and everything else. So just so you know. Now, in this series, I'm trying to keep you from being distracted coming out of the gate and getting overwhelmed of all the 35,000 steps and 35,000 strategies and everything else that people tell you. I think you can come out of the gate and in the first 30 days start getting clients without even having a great website up and without even having social media up. Those are not always. Now, do I think that you need that? Yeah, I think that you need to have it up and going just simply out of the gate. People just need to know, because what are people going to do? They're going to refer you. The door's going to open to your business, and it'd be like not having a business card. It'd be like because people are going to look. What, do they have a website? Do they have social media or whatever? And they'll ask for that. And so it really is important to have that up. But even before you're good, and even before you have a following or any of these other things, what I'm showing you out of the gate within the first 30 days, you should be able to land at least one client. And so where we started 2 weeks ago was just to begin with all the people that you know, terms of writing that list down and reaching out. And I actually showed you a script that you can borrow off of to be able to plug these things together to be able to get you may actually get a client out of that. It's to ask for 2 referrals, but you start with a network. It's going to be a minimum of 100 people, but some of you are going to have more than that. And what's going to happen is that you're going to start your outreach there. Not all of the people who are in your network are going to be your ideal client, but they'll understand what you do in your business because we gave you a script on how to write that. Last week we talked about the 4 yeses that you want to get and how to do that. with all the way from a free to a low risk offer all the way up to VIP. So we showed you 4 of those things. Now, what we're going to talk about this week is actually your marketing messaging. And there's probably a couple of different ways that I could have put a subtitle. I like the subtitle of Get Clients Without Being Salesy for a couple of reasons. One is that I know that most of you as coaches are already kind of like, you may not really like putting yourself out there. You may not like marketing. You may not like asking for business or whatever. And I get you. I understand. Coaches, generally speaking, are highly relational people, and they're not really comfortable with that kind of stuff. And even worse is that we don't want to be salesy people in the sense of, cheap, cheesy, salesy person. Do you want to work with a coach? Who's looking for a coach? I'm looking for 2 clients. No one wants that. What do they want is that they want a relationship because we are in a relational business. And so, as we're doing all the things that we do, we want to communicate in a very clear manner who it is that we help, what problems that we help people solve, and an appropriate invitation to work with us. Now, when it comes to messaging, one of the things that we have been really, really good at with our coaches is writing sales pages that are high converting. So when somebody comes on a sales page on a web or on your website or whatever, that it's really clear really quickly who this is for and what problems that you're helping people solve. We've also been able to do that, not only with a website, with sales pages, but we've been really, really good at being able to do this in email marketing. And some of you think that email is dead. It is not. It's almost free. And I'd much rather have an email list that people were opening even 25%, because a lot of times when you're posting things on social media, people do not see it. So the things that I'm getting ready to show you tonight in terms of how do you write these things, what does it look like? Because I want to give you examples and give you some steps on how to do that. This can be used on social media. It can be used on a sales page for your programs. It can also be used in email. And the form that I put it in is actually something that you could rip immediately and put into a web page, or you could put it into an email or something like that. So one more time, if you have not gotten the slides, go ahead and text that number to get the slides, and we are going to jump in. And you know what else I'll do? I'll also hide that at the bottom, and it won't be so distracting. Okay, so let's jump in. First of all, let's talk about messaging mistakes that coaches make. And one of the most common mistakes that coaches make when they are starting their coaching business is that they don't get in their client's shoes and hit the pain points. When I say pain points, I'm not talking about counseling and therapy. That's not the realm that we live in. You have to understand, though, that the reason why we make purchases, that we invest money in certain places and certain things, most our higher motivation in life is to get out of pain as a priority more than it even is to have the desirable things in life. More people will make a greater effort at staying out of pain or getting out, or either staying away from pain altogether, avoiding it, or to get out of it. That's what most people are putting their effort into. How can I avoid this pain and not get in this mess to begin with? And how can I get out of pain as quickly as possible? And the greater the pain that someone is in, the more urgent that they're going to do something, the more critical that it is. And it's also the more money that they will pay. I mean, think about it. If if you were going to go on a drive across the state of Texas, and half of Texas probably is desert. There's like nothing there. Now, if you were going to be prepared and you wanted to buy bottled water before you left, then you might shop price. You might go into Walmart. You might be like, hey, this product, everywhere that I go, I can go to Walmart and I'm going to get it the cheapest. And you'll go get that, right? And you might be like, well, I'm not going to pay $8 for a case of water. I'm only willing to pay like 5. And of course, I'm guessing. I have no idea what prices are right now. So you're going to save money and pay $5 for a case of water, put it in your car, and then you're just going to drive across Texas, right? through the desert and everything else where you don't have a lot of opportunities to stop. Now, if you are driving across Texas and you have nothing to drink and you are parched and you see one of those signs that says next gas station, next store, next market is going to be 250 miles away, then you're probably going to be like, you know what? I'm really, really thirsty. I have nothing to drink, and I can't wait 250 miles. And you will go in that place, and you'll notice they'll be selling one bottle of water for $5. Now, if you could get a whole case at Walmart for $5, but now you're buying one bottle for $5. You know why? Because you're willing to pay the price because you see that as an urgent need. Now, if you knew that maybe 5 minutes away you could get that same bottle of water for $1.50, then you would probably wait that 5 minutes. But when there are no other options, see, the thing is that the pain, the urgency, the critical nature of something is going to determine how much you spend on it. But all this to say that pain is an extraordinary motivator for people, much more so than pleasure is. Now, coaches who have not chosen a niche, your niche should be a certain people group, and it should be a problem that keeps them up at night, not a problem you have to educate them on. I'll say again, coaches who try to sell, live your best life, be the best version of yourself, do not get clients because there's no pain involved in that. That's not something that's keeping people up at night. They're not sitting around at like 3 o'clock in the morning staring at their ceiling saying, how can I live my best life? I need a coach to help me do. People aren't doing that. But they might be sitting up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking about their career and how it's not going anywhere. They might be doing that and thinking about their child. They might be thinking about their spouse. They might be thinking about their relationships. They might be thinking about any number of things. But that's the thing that they're already thinking about is what you want to be talking about because they're already at a critical level. It's already urgent and it's not something that you have to sell. See, I don't want you to be salesy. Talk about the things that they're actually interested in and they're already thinking about. Second thing, coaches focus on explaining coaching rather than the solution. You are not selling coaching. I know we're in the coaching business, but coaches who don't know what they're doing on their website, they'll usually have a big paragraph that says, what is life coaching? If you have to explain to them what it is that you do, you're not going, who's got time for that? I don't have time to learn about what some process is, but I am interested if you're going to talk about my problem, but I'm not interested in being educated. Educating people in a business or whatever, that is a losing strategy. You don't have time for that. But you know what people do have time for? People do have time to talk or listen to someone who is sharing something about their problems, and even more so if they're talking about the solution, not sitting around trying to educate them on something. Three messaging mistakes that coaches make is that coaches just assume people get it instead of spelling it out clearly. So that means that for us as coaches, we need to speak very succinctly. It should be very clear. Who is this for? Should be very clear. What problem are we addressing with this? It should be clear. What does the solution look like? It should be clear. What are my next steps in order to work with you or whatever? And so you can't assume that people are reading between the lines. You just, the thing is, you just do your homework on your ideal client. You got to choose that person, though. Choose that ideal client. Know what makes them tick. Do your homework on them and know what problems are keeping them up at night. And then talk about those things and speak in a clear manner. Last thing that I would say in terms of these aren't all the mistakes that coaches make, but what coaches do a lot of times is that they wait for clients to decide instead of guiding them to the yes. And so we have to understand that you can't get a client by sitting around drumming your fingers on your desk, like hoping. And so a lot of coaches, they're just like, oh, well, no one's really interested. No one wants to buy coaching. It's not true. People need minimum 5 to 8 meaningful personal connections before they're going to make a buying decision on anything. So the first time that you hear about something, anything that you're even interested in, you probably haven't bought it the first time that you heard about it. You probably, if you think about it, let's think about the last major purchase that you made. Was it on a whim? Like when you're spending real money, I'm not talking about going and spending $5 somewhere. I'm saying the last major purchase that you made or service that you bought, working with somebody or whatever. You did not make a flippant decision and be like, oh, well, that sounds good. I'll just do that. No, because you're investing your money and it's significant money. And so you probably researched and you probably asked questions. You might have gotten a referral. You might have asked what other people use or whatever. But that you went in as an informed person before you made that buying decision. And so our job then as coaches is to do things that help our ideal client get ready, and that we also talk to them in a way that helps them actually make a decision about us. That means that everything that we communicate in our marketing messaging always has an end game of this. We want to help them come to a critical level, make an informed buying decision so that they know what they're getting. No one knows what coaching is. That's why we're not going to try to sell it. We're going to talk about their problem and that we have a solution. We're going to make that really clear. That makes it really easy for them to say yes, right? I already have this problem. If I know that you have this problem, then it's much more likely that they're going to say yes. If I come at them with live your best life, that's not even remotely a problem. Unlikely that I'm going to get a yes. I need to find their most pressing problem and build my coaching around that. And after I get to that, I also need to, as a coach, build a relationship, build rapport with them. That means that I need to be likable. It means that I need to be trustworthy. And I need to show them a certain level of expertise that I can describe their problem as though I'm in their shoes. And I can describe a solution that is believable and has a result about it. Okay. And that's what we're going to be doing even in this messaging that I'm going to show you. So if you use this framework that I'm going to give you a framework. You can use this framework tonight anytime you do this. Now, this framework that I'm getting ready to show you, you can begin to use for your coaching business launch. You can use it for any kind of a program launch, whether it's a group program, whether it's a webinar, it might be a freebie or whatever. So anything that you're thinking about, what I want to show you is how you need to talk to people to be clear, to be crystal clear, to paint the picture, to understand, so that when they read, they understand you have been in their shoes and you know what you're talking about, and that you have a solution for it. And you got to help them get ready and also build some momentum in the conversation, build some rapport, and build some urgency so that you actually have a deadline in many cases for people to be able to work with you. So, the framework that I'm getting ready to show you, I'm going to show you some examples of how you write these things, and you can keep using it over and over and over again. Now, a couple of things. Messaging does the heavy lifting for you. So you're not sitting around trying to convince people one-on-one. You're not sitting around and trying to talk people in and giving a bunch of complimentary sessions. That's a losing strategy. So if you use email, we're going to use email tonight, but these same things that I'm showing you can be used in social media posts. It can be used in a lot of different ways. We're just going to put it in an email form, but it also could be a sales page. So what this is going to do is it's going to build excitement and it's going to begin to build urgency before they ever talk to you. Because again, I'm trying to get you a client within your first 30 days. Second thing, this message is repeatable. You can use this 5 email sequence. And I'm saying, when I say 5 email, it's 5 types of emails every time you launch a new offer. So what did we do? 2 weeks ago, we built your network. Last week, we talked about your offers. Now you're going to have a sequence of how do you communicate that offer to you every time that you launch one. And this is going to get rid of that, well, I don't know what to say. So if you follow this, you'll always know what to write next. So the first email, that first communication that you're going to do, whether it's on social media or any of those other things, is what I call the wake up call email. And what is that? Well, you're going to open that email with a bold statement or a hard truth. What is that bold statement and hard truth going to be about? Well, we've got to know what their problem is. And so we're going to address that. We're going to, and you know what? There's nothing quicker that wakes people up in the morning more so than caffeine is a bold statement or a hard truth that hits them personally, hits them in a place where they are hurting. Show them a problem that they relate to, and you're going to make them feel seen in your messaging. And you're going to tease because you don't have to give them everything in the first email or the first time that you reach out, but you can tease that there's a solution coming. But you don't have to pitch it yet in the wake up email. So let's have an example subject line. Here's a subject line. If working hard was enough, you'd already have what you want. That's an example subject line. And here's a another example line that you could use in the email. You're smart, capable, and you've been putting in the work. So why does it feel like you're stuck watching everyone else get ahead? See how bold these statements are? See how it has a hard truth about it? But it's also connecting to a pain point because they're working hard, but they're not getting ultimately what they want. And what is the objective of the wake up call email? What's to make them feel like this email was written for them or written to them? Now, since we've talked about that, what we're going to do is we're going to look at a sample email of what this could possibly look like. Now, I do not have this program, by the way, so you guys can't buy it and you can't enroll in it or anything else. I just literally made all of this fake in Canva and I put text together and everything else to show you because this is really easy to do. But you can use this as a template to write your own. So, what does that wake up call email look like? Well, look at this subject line. Because what are we doing? We're just going to tease that there's a solution. Subject line, we put an emoji in it. Group coaching weekend, unfiltered success, May 9th through the 11th. So we got a nice little graphic there. And when we look at this, who is this for? Well, it's telling who is this for? And maybe when we out of the gate, we have a picture of somebody that it looks like it's for. So presumably, if I look at this, it's a woman who wants more success. Maybe that looks like money. That's what it looks like right here. So here's our subject line, or header line in it. For ambitious women who are done playing small, waiting for permission, and feeling stuck at almost there. So let me point out some things to you. Almost there, what is that? Well, they are stuck at almost there. There's the problem. And what do we get to know? Well, we're describing who is. It's not just for women. It's for ambitious women who are done playing small and they're done waiting for permission. See, we're hitting some pain points in that. We're talking about the personality type and what they want, but we're also connecting it to a so when someone reads this, they're kind of like, "Oh, you're talking about me. That's me. I'm impatient right now. I'm tired of this." So let's look at this little subheading. You are great at what you do. See that encouragement? You're great at what you do. You're smart, capable, and people respect you. So, here's your bold statement. So, why do you still feel like you're waiting on something to finally click? And so what are we doing? We're hitting him in the face with some bold, hard truth. And now what are we going to do? We're going to introduce a solution. How do we do that? This 3-day coaching weekend is for women who are tired of. What are we going to get? We are going to get some major pain points right here. We're going to hit them. Who are tired of watching less qualified people get promoted or paid more. You know what this looks like? This looks like pain. Isn't that painful? If they are getting passed up and seeing other people succeed, holding back in meetings because they don't want to sound pushy. So again, we're talking about professional women. So not just women, but ambitious who want something where you could probably say this is a leader overthinking every career move instead of just making it happen. So we're hitting some major pain points right here. Now, you know what we need to do? We need to get somewhere in this. We need to get to an outcome. What would life look different? How would life look different? By the time we're done, you'll know exactly how to stop second guessing and start making power moves. So we've got solution one: clarity. Ask for what you want and actually get it. Build a career and a life you're proud of, not just one that looks good on paper. No formulas, no fluffy pep talks, just real strategies that actually work. Spots are limited, applications open soon. Oh, and I misspelled register. See, we all make mistakes like that. But you see that? That's all email one looks like. It's a wake up call email. This is a wake up call. We're calling people out with this. Now, do you only need one email? Honestly, you don't have to just email one time. You could probably have like 3 or 4 different versions of this email. Change up the subject line, change up some things that are in here. And what are you wanting to do? You're wanting to stir the pot. Maybe they don't read the first email that you send them, or maybe they read a few versions of it. And you know what you're doing? You're stirring the pot, you're stoking the fire. And you need to do that to get a yes. If people are not emotionally invested, if you have not moved them, they are not going to move. You have to understand that people do not make logical decisions. People make gut decisions. And when you punch somebody in the gut, and I don't mean that in a mean way, people need a wake up call. People have got to get off the fence. They got to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. They got to be sick of the position that they're in to work with a coach. Because if you're comfortable where you're at, you're never going to work with a coach. We got to get them out of the comfort zone. We need to stir and stoke the fires of dissatisfaction. And this does not make me a pushy person, and it doesn't make me salesy. I'm speaking to the problem and I'm speaking to the person. You know, there's a lot of encouragement in this is who you are, but you're not living into it. Without saying something offensive to them, we're calling onto that potential in terms of who they are. Now, here's the next one. The next one is the why you're still stuck email. So imagine first week you write emails like the first email. Second week that we have the why you're still stuck email. Now what's in that? Well, you're going to break down the real reason they're struggling. Because people might have an idea of why they're struggling, but we're going to break down the real reason they're struggling. Make them see the cost of staying where they are, and introduce your coaching as a missing piece, but you're not really doing a hard pitch yet. You're not doing a hard sell yet. So it's really important for people to know that there's a cost with staying. There's a cost with change, but your cost for staying has to feel like a higher price that you are paying. Otherwise, you wouldn't pay the price, right? I use the example a lot of times of some years ago, I had tweaked my back, and I didn't do anything about it because I was busy, and I'm like, it'll just go away. And I kept just dealing with it, because it felt like it was inconvenient. And it wasn't so much about the money as it was the time and what work I needed to do. And so I wasn't doing anything about it. And then gets a little bit worse. So now I'm taking ibuprofen every day to get it under control. And then I'm taking ibuprofen 3 times a day, and I've got a heating pad, and that's not really working. But this was the way that I was starting my day, was all of this stuff to deal with the pain. Until one day I started having muscle spasms, and they were so bad because I'd put it off for so long. And that was the thing that got me into a doctor and got me into some rehabilitation to get my back in order. But I put up with it probably for 6 months. Could have, but what was the urgency about it? Well, it was, the cost of staying, the cost of not doing something. Finally, finally exceeded what it was going to take to go and invest in, rehab and going to a doctor and all of that other stuff. A couple of other things. Example line. Most people stay stuck not because they're not capable, but because they hesitate. And hesitation kills more dreams than failure ever could. And here's an objective: more than move them from I have a problem to actually this urgency of, well, I need to fix this. So let me give you an example of what that email looks like. This is email 2. Hey, if you haven't already liked this video, by the way, I know that I'm giving you a lot and you're going to have to return back to it. So if you like it, it'll also show up on your YouTube that you like this video, or on your Facebook that you can hit the little saved there and save it. But I know, listen, what I'm showing you will actually work. And people would normally charge you thousands of dollars for this. So do me a huge favor, just like it really quick. And that way you've got it saved and you can come back to it, because I'm giving you a blueprint. Okay. All right. So, second email. What is that second email? Well, we're talking about what? Oh, let me go back to that. The why you're still stuck. Here's the subject line for that. If working hard was enough, you'd already have it. Now, look at the picture of the person. Sucking wind. They're working hard, but maybe they're not getting the progress. So we find some imagery. Again, this is a program for women. So of course we've got a woman in the picture. We see a road that looks like, someone's trying to get somewhere, whatever. So again, we've got the little promo of what the program is called. The hardest truth no one tells you about success. Woo, you know what this is? This right here builds interest. Right here. The hardest truth. And you know what that does? It makes me curious. What is the hardest truth about success? And now what do we get? We get a big statement. Let's cut to it. If hard work was all it took to be successful, you'd already be there. And what do we start getting to again? We start getting to problems. We start getting to pain. You never put problems and pain to the side, because that's the motivator that keeps them interested and engaged in what you have to say. You wouldn't be watching less qualified people get opportunities you deserve. You wouldn't be sitting on ideas, waiting for the right time to speak up. Here's a problem that's internal. So we got an external problem right here. We got an internal problem here of procrastination. And you wouldn't be reading this email wondering why, after everything that you've done, something still feels just out of reach. The truth: the system rewards confidence and strategy, not just effort. That's why I'm running Unfiltered Success May 9th through the 11th, because I refuse to let brilliant women like you keep waiting your turn. So there's that encouragement. We're calling them out, calling them up. Now, what does the solution look like? So you've explained your why you're doing it, and now we're kind of getting to a solution. This 3-day coaching weekend will change. What is it going to do? It's going to change the way you see yourself, show up, and make decisions. You'll walk away knowing exactly what's holding you back and how to fix it. No more overthinking, no more hesitating, just movement. Details tomorrow, but for now, answer this. What would happen if you stopped waiting and just went for it? So again, this is, what is this kind of a message? It's the why you're still stuck. Now, again, I can talk about why you're still stuck an entire week. These don't have to be like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5 emails. If I've got a month to play this out, then I can keep doing things each week that are focused around this five step strategy. Now, the doors open email. What are we doing? We're going to intentionally start talking more about our program. So you're going to officially introduce. We got a little overview of what's to come, a little preview of what to come. But what we're going to do is that we're going to officially introduce your coaching offer. Thank you for that, Gerlinda. Thank you. I appreciate that. And hello, Kimberly from Chicago. Good to see you. Okay. You're going to officially introduce your coaching offer and you're going to highlight the transformation that they will get. So it's really important. We know the problem. We got to get to a before and after. Now, we've kind of previewed what the before and after looks like because the before looks like hesitancy, right? It looks like procrastination. It looks like a lack of confidence. Over here looks like clarity. It looks like movement and everything else. But we're going to get a little bit clearer in this email. Make it feel urgent. Don't let them put off the decision. It's your job to actually move them across the chicken line. Here's an example line. You've been waiting for the right time to take action. Guess what? This is it. And what's the objective? I want to get them thinking, I need to do this now. So again, coaching relationship is born because a person has got to a critical, they've gotten to the pain threshold, they've gotten to a critical level, and they're ready. The other side that you've got to take care of on your end is just building rapport. Are you likable? Do they trust you? Do they believe that you have a solution to help them get the results that they want? So that's what we're going to continue doing in this email. So let's get to the next one. What's email 3? An example of email 3 look like? This is what it looks like. Here's the subject line. Women do this every day, and it's holding you back. See, you guys have got to learn how to craft these headlines because you know what this makes me do? Anything that I get in my inbox, if it's not relevant to me, if it's a message that says, coaching newsletter for February 2025, I'm not opening that email. You say something like this, and it's just like, okay, what if I do this every day? What am I doing something that's holding me back every day? Interest makes me curious. I'm going to open that. So what do we get? Oh, my little picture got kind of cut off here. I had a great picture there. The silent career killer no one warns you about. That could even be a subject line in and of itself. You know what holds most brilliant, hardworking people back? Not a lack of skills, not experience, not intelligence. What is it? It's hesitating. Hesitating before you speak up in a meeting, hesitating before you ask for the raise you know you deserve, hesitating before you go after what you actually want instead of what feels safe. Again, we aren't backing down and we're still being very direct and speaking hard truth. Meanwhile, the people who aren't even as good as you are running with the ball. At Unfiltered Success, May 9th through 11th, I'm going to show you why hesitation is costing you opportunities and how to cut it off at the source. How to own your decisions and stop over explaining yourself, what it actually takes to get noticed, get paid, and get what you want without burning yourself out trying to prove your worth. Enrollment opens tomorrow. Spots are limited. So tell me, what would your career look like if you stopped waiting and started deciding? That's what email 3 looks like. See, aren't these good? This is the way that you get to yes. You got to know who your people are. You got to get really clear about who it is that you help and what problems that you help people solve. You need to have an offer, not just who wants to buy 4 sessions of coaching for $500? Nobody. But what we're doing is that they want to solve a problem. They want to solve the problem that's keeping them up at night. You need to have faith. You need to have total belief that someone wants to solve the problem that's keeping them up at night. And you need to build your coaching around that. That's what you need to talk about. See, it's coaching, but we're not selling coaching clearly. We are selling coaching. They don't know what we're selling. We're selling a solution, right? We're going to do it through coaching, but they don't care. You know, you're speaking their language. You're proving that you're in their shoes. Now you've got their interest. They're curious. And you're also talking about a possible solution that they didn't know existed before. The next email is the real reason you haven't said yes. So we just had the doors open email. We're going to email 4 or messaging 4, which is the real reason you haven't said yes. You need to call out their biggest hesitations. What is their biggest hesitation? If you know, and you should know this, When you're doing your homework on your ideal client, you should have an objection list. What is keeping this person from working with you? What is keeping this person from taking the step towards solving the problem? You need to write those things down. I didn't put this on the board, but you need to do that. So take that as a side note. I need to know what my ideal client's objections are to working, because if you answer the objection, now they can become a client. So you need to know what those things are. So in this email, you should be calling out their biggest hesitation. Show them why those doubts are keeping them stuck. Give them a reason to act, even if they don't feel ready. Because here's the reality: a lot of times people are not going to feel ready. What else? Here's an example. I know what you're thinking. What if I'm not ready? What if I don't have time? Here's what I know for sure: you'll never feel 100% ready. You just have to decide. That's so true. And your objective in this email is to overcome what their mental roadblocks are. So let's look at what an example of email 4 looks like. Email 4. Email 4. Oh, look. You notice that the move. Now we're starting to get into movement in these pictures. And look at the subject line. Got a little bit of alert emoji. Enrollment is live. Come claim your spot. It's open. Here's how you get in. So what are we doing? Is that we're telling people how to take their next step. They need to be told. Most coaches are not doing this. You know what most coaches are? Well, I made some posts on social media. Hopefully they'll reach out. They're not going to reach out. You need to give them something to reach out for. You need to tell them what their next step is. You need to give them the how. They don't know. That doesn't compute. So you need to talk about the problem, and you need to talk about the solution that you have, and then ask them to buy the solution. Ask them to give you the opportunity to serve them. Ask them to give you the opportunity to help them. You can't hold back on this. And it still isn't salesy, if you notice. I know how this thing goes. You read about this coaching weekend and your gut says yes, but then your brain says, well, what if I don't have time? What if I'm not ready? What if this is like everything else I've tried? Look, I get it. Here's what I need you to hear. You are never going to feel ready. Not for this. Not for the next big opportunity. Not for the version of you that stops hesitating and starts making moves. You don't need to be ready. You just need to decide. And there's a little PS. A lot of times people will read, like, this is a highly out of an entire email. Um, this is something that always captures people's attention. So that PS you can use really powerfully. What's really stopping you? Because whatever it is, we can work through it together. And then a call to action. Say yes now. That's what that link is. Now let's get to your email number 5. And again, this same stuff can be used in your social media posts and everything else. It's the final call email. And this should create urgency without a fake scarcity. This is why you need to actually have deadlines and enrollment periods for clients. If you never have a deadline, you're never going to get people off the fence. Here's one thing that's true about procrastination. Procrastination needs its own deadline to get people urgency, because it makes them feel like they're going to fail. Like, if I don't do something now, I'm not going to get this opportunity. Now, I'm not saying that even the first time that you go through all these emails or these messages that people are necessarily going to sign up, but you've stirred the pot a lot and they might get on the next time. But you need to have a deadline. If people think that you're always available, that there's always an opportunity, they can do it whenever they are ready, then then what's happened is that you've given your own autonomy in your business away. It's not just simply on their terms. You're not just sitting there 24/7 waiting on a call desperately. You're not. You're looking for serious people who are ready to actually make change in their life. And your time is valuable. You need to train people on how to treat you. Because if you go to a doctor, I say this in session 7 of our Life Coach Training, Life Coach Certification course and boot camp. When you go to the doctor, you get there 15 or 20 minutes early. They are consistently late every time of bringing you back. You see the doctor for like 5 minutes, and then you pay a copay, and they probably made a couple $100 off of you at least in that one little visit, just for like 5 or 10 minutes of their time. And we're happy to do that because we're like, well, I have a need, and that's a person who can help me, and I value their time. This is how you treat people to value you and to value your time. You've got this little period to make a decision. It's fine. There's going to be another one sometime down the road, which is true for some of you who've been procrastinating on getting trained and certified. There's a 1-day certification course that we have created that's this Saturday. And so some of you who have been procrastinating, you know you're not going to get it done through self-paced. You know you're not going to go a whole weekend. We made it for you because you keep putting your time up. But I'm not going to have one every week, and I'm not going to have one every month because I value my time. But if you want to get it this weekend, you can get it. It's a 12-hour. I'll talk about it a little bit in a little bit. We've made it as easy as possible for you to plug in, get trained, and get certified, and get done with it if you're actually ready. But for those of you who aren't ready, well, you'll have to wait for 1-day accelerator to summer because I don't give up that much of my time every week. I'm looking for people who are hungry that are ready to do something. So if you're hungry and ready to do something about getting trained and certified, Saturday is a great day. Show them that what they will miss if they don't act, and make the next step crystal clear for them. So here's an example line. This is it. Doors closed tonight. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. And the objective, again, is to make it painful to miss out. So let's look at this 5th email type that we're going after. And there's a subject line. This is it. Final chance to get in. And look at those people who are already ahead. They're already in line. You can just jump in there and you can get it done. Doors are closing. What are we doing? Is that we are building urgency. Now, when we do this, we're not doing fake urgency. We really are going to close the door. That scares some of you. We don't need to keep the doors open all the time, because then they're going to come in on their terms and they may or may not be ready. But if you will do this, now listen, here's the thing about your offers that we wrote last week. Your offer, you can always have a new offer ready to go as soon as you get one thing out of the way. The next group coaching program is going to start in 6 weeks. The next course is going to start in 6 weeks or something like that. The next opportunity to work with me one-on-one is going to come up in the next couple of weeks. There's like, you always have that next thing ready. So that's why there's always a new thing that gives you an opportunity to talk to them about. Now, in just a few hours, Unfiltered Success closes for enrollment. And after that, the decision is made for you. So imagine what your career could look like 6 months from now if you say yes today. More confidence, more money, more impact, more power over your own life, or you keep waiting, overthinking, wondering what would have happened if you'd just gone for it. This is your final chance to say yes. And that brings them to a moment of the line in the sand where they really need to do something. Again, if you want the slides for tonight, you need to text 833-258-7547. Go back to all these steps. It's 5 emails or 5 posts, but this is the thing that you begin to create. And again, this process can be done over and over and over again. I just gave you the skeleton of it. You can download the slides by just texting. You'll get that link, and then you will be able to get it. Now, let me pay the bills really quick. This Saturday, as I was mentioning, Saturday, March 15th, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 to 9 Central, 10 to 10 Eastern, is our 1-day accelerator. This gives you the opportunity to knock out all of your life coach training in a single day. Now, it's a little bit different than things that we normally do. It's only $195. The value of the program is $3,500. What are you going to get? What's a 12-hour Saturday training? What we do in those 12 hours is that it is curated training. So it's Simulive. What we did is we took the best of the Life Coach Certification course and the best of boot camp, and we boiled it down. We took all the fluff out, all the fat out of it, and it's a lean, mean packed day. You get 7 sessions, and in those 7 sessions, you're going to get about a 15-minute break, and then the next session, and a 15-minute break, and then the next session. The beauty of it is you get done. and you're going to get done in that single day. And all you got to do then is turn in your assignments and take the exam, and you are done. You've earned your credential. We made it as easy for you as we possibly can. A couple of other things that you get. You will, just like you have in the Life Coach Certification course, you will get brandable templates for your business. We're going to save you at least 100 hours of development and hundreds of dollars by giving you that, because you're going to need that for your business. You're also going to get a coaching tool starter kit. You're going to get hundreds of question samples. You're also obviously going to earn your Life Coach certification and get a certificate. And we're also going to allow you to come to live Tuesday night coach training. So that allows you to stay connected. It allows you to come in and get your questions answered. I know we're going to cram a lot in this Saturday, but you can join us on Tuesdays and you can continue to have support, get your questions answered, and connect with other students who are part of the program. Now, there's 7 powerful sessions. Session 1 is Foundations of Coaching. Session 2, the anatomy of a dynamic coaching session. Session 3, how to help your clients get extraordinary results. 4 and 5, how to listen on a transformational level. 6 is how to ask powerful questions. 7, how to establish a growing coaching practice. Again, all of this includes live Tuesday night coach training. It is a $3,500 value, but it's only $195. Now, for some of you, you want some of the stuff like you got tonight. And if you don't know your business development steps in Jumpstart, we give you the A to Z business development roadmap. And this program, Jumpstart Your Coaching Practice, includes certification, but it also includes all of the steps that you need to build a 6-figure practice. And the cost is only $97 a month with a 3-month minimum commitment. If you do the math on it, it actually works in your favor big time. And we actually lose money because it's not that much more expensive than actually getting trained and certified. What all is included? Brand camp for coaches. I show you 13 hours. I take you on a step-by-step. You thought you learned a lot tonight. I take you step-by-step on how to develop your marketing messaging for your business, how to develop your website, search engine optimization, how to write sales pages, email, all kinds of tools and bonuses. That's included. I also give you the coaching product launch blueprint. It's about 10 hours that I give you the blueprint for a business launch. You can use it for group coaching, online courses, webinars, retreats, workshops. It allows you to go from brainstorming to launch, and it shows you how to create additional streams of income for your business. All of this includes a weekly group coaching call, because I know sometimes you want to get feedback on what you're working on. And what we've done is that every Wednesday, we have a group coaching call. You can bring your the stuff that you've been working on. You can have it reviewed and by your peers, as well as one of our great assistant coaches who are part of coach trainers who are part of the program here. So I highly encourage you to get that done. How do I get the slides for week 1? Well, you got to go on our website now. If you text, you're not going to get that through the text. So just go on our website. You'll see all of the previous sessions archived in the link. And when you go to that, should be under the little articles at the very bottom. So if you go on our website, ilifecoachtraining.com, scroll down, you'll see all the latest sessions that we've done on Mentor Monday, and you can download them off of the individual pages for any slides that you might have missed in the past. All right, everybody. Well, I appreciate you guys all immensely. Kathy, thank you so much for your ongoing encouragement. So much. You are so welcome, Gerlinda. All right, everybody. Well, listen, that's this week. We're going to roll this back, and we are going to bring it back in time. If you guys got here a little bit late, you're not too late, because we're going to put this on replay, and then you can do that. Don't forget, this Saturday is 1-day Life Coach Certification Training Accelerator. 12 hours of training to knock all of your Life Coach Certification training out of the way. It's a $3,500 value. It's only $195. The links to all of our programs are in the description of this video. I appreciate you guys all immensely. Have a great rest of your weekend. Take care.